What up, what up, what up, family? It's your boy, Black Innovator, coming at you once again with another innovative video. All right, so we at the final video of this series, real estate tips. How to go about getting real estate and shaking and baking, and making moves in the game. Right. So let's get right into this video. Right. So you want to start, once you've located the property, you want to start the negotiation from a place of insurance, right? A place of strength. Once you've submitted the sales contract, and they probably require that you're submitted a proof of what they call approval letter of some sort, right? But anybody who's ever done anything in real estate knows it's 100 miles between the approval letter and the final closing. So that's good. You have the sales contract, you got your approval letter, but then you still got a long way to go before you walk away from the table with the keys to that property. All right. So you want to show that you're able to do what's necessary to secure that and finalize that deal. If all means possible, please, if possible, now it's going to be difficult, but avoid what we call the gatekeepers. At least what I call the gatekeepers, right? Gatekeepers are lawyers and realtors, right? People of such. This is why I like dealing directly with homeowners, but hey, it's just the nature of the beast that we have to go through certain people, and that's fine. But just so you know, that realtors, they're going to jack the price up of that property, because just think about it. If the realtor is getting a commission off that property, and that person comes to them and say, I'm selling my property for $100,000, and the realtor knows that property's worth $200,000, they might not get them to the whole $200,000, but they surely can get them up to maybe close to it, 180, 190, whatever, because they get more commissions. That's what realtors' job. That's what their job is, to get you the most amount of money for your property. And lawyers are gatekeepers because they prevent creative negotiation, creative financing. I've lost more deals when the homeowner refused, and it's rare when you have to go through a lawyer, but if I'm submitting a contract that deals with creative financing, I'm trying to get owner financing, or some type of creative way of going about doing it, usually the lawyer is the one that kills the deal. All right, I'm not doing nothing unethical, but their job is to protect their client at all means, right? So when you're negotiating, be strong, be creative, be flexible, right? Okay, what I mean by flexible, it ain't all about you, what's in it for you, right? It's got to be mutually beneficial for both parties. Case in point, I'm gonna give you a scenario. A creative financing deal I did many years ago, and I remember this deal very fondly, right? Well, not so fondly, but it was a chaotic deal in the end, but nonetheless profitable. I had this lady was selling her property, and I had offered to pay her all her closing costs, everything. Gave her full value of what she was asking for the property and all her closing costs, because I had a back-end buyer ready to buy the property immediately for about additional $60,000 dollars. So after all her closing costs, I walked away with about $50,000. I paid it and immediately closed with the seller right after, and I didn't have to do any work to the property. Didn't have to do any work to the property. Excuse me. She was just ready to go and ready to move on. She had moved out of state. It was just the right timing. So you got to give and take. I was willing to pay all. I didn't negotiate with her. I didn't try to, bargain her down. I didn't try to, and I knew her situation. I didn't try to, take advantage of her. I gave her full value, as well as pay all her closing costs. She walked away with a check for the whole amount she was asking for. And thank God, because it paid off in the end, because once she realized I was selling the property for more money on the back end, she got upset. But but thank God I was honest, I was forthcoming, in the transaction. But I was trying to look out for her benefit. So when you're negotiating, like I said, you want to be flexible, creative, but you want to be fair as well. All right. Now you want to negotiate a deal strictly on the merits of that deal. I've seen people who've done deals and get upside down because they're out of anxiety, they're anxious, or they're desperate, desperation, or they just want to break in the industry. So if I could just get my first property. No, if you're upside down on that property, it's not a good deal. You want to make sure that deal is favorable for you as well, right? Then you want to also, when you negotiate, and take into consideration of the repairs, the remodeling costs. If you don't know how to do construction, and thank God, I started off not knowing how to do construction, but I learned in the process of being a real estate investor, but if you don't, you got to get those costs of how much it's going to cost you to remodel, how much it's going to cost you to upgrade. Then you want to look into the fact that, what could you do to increase the value of that property? There's times I've negotiated and bought properties that didn't necessarily, wasn't even up to what my expectation, but I knew I can get it there by adding another bedroom or simply taking down this wall. You gotta have a creative, innovative eye when it comes to investing, right? All right, so another thing I want to point out, in most cases, the seller could actually pay for some or all the buyer's closing costs. The seller can pay for that. So you want to use it, kind of think of it as a give and take. If this seller is willing to do this for you, you're willing to do this for them. So just back and forth, right? And I like to say, finally, as far as negotiation, the only thing that I've learned is not negotiable is the word of God. Everything else is negotiable. Taxes, death. You can negotiate death. We talking about in the Bible when Abraham negotiated how many people would die, in Sodom and Gomorrah. So everything is negotiable. So you have to come in there with an open mind. All right. I want to say this: when you've submitted the contract and you got the 5-day contingent upon a walkthrough, you want to be very thorough with your walkthrough. Despite many lenders requiring the homeowners to disclose certain things like asbestos, lead, etc., you still have to do your due diligence to check things like in the basement for mildew. That could be a sign of moisture due to leaks. You want to check for water stains in the ceiling, the signs of the roof leaking. So just be very observant. Don't just be awestruck by the fact that you've gotten this far to close your deal and then it turned out to be a nightmare. All right. And then one more thing I want to point out is when you the earnest money, if possible, request that any and all earnest money be held in escrow by the title company or the lawyer or the attorney, right? Because this help you avoid two things. Help you avoid scam artists. I mean, I've read so many different stories about people being scammed, about thinking they purchased as properties, right? And then another thing, it eliminates problems, or help alleviates problems when it comes to getting your earnest money back should something go wrong. All right, so there you go. That concludes your real estate tip. If you leave any comments or question down below, I will try to get back with you as soon as possible. But please subscribe and like the channel so I can keep bringing you more. All right, God bless.